Hello there everyone and welcome back. We're all done with the Adeptus Mechanicus for the time being, and as much as I love the Novicans and really want to enjoy their fleet that much more, it's time to move on to the final of the 3 Imperium factions, and that's going to be the Space Marines. Don't be fooled by the Adeptus Astartes, because in all seriousness we know them more as the Space Marines. And that's what we're going to be bringing you for this week here. For already, I have been thinking about how I can utilize maybe an all strike cruiser fleet, maybe a mix with a pair of Mark 1s with the Mark 2s, for if you played against Tau or even played as the Tau, you know just how valuable those fighters can be to allow your missiles, your seeker missiles, and even your bombers to do the damage that's necessary without them getting picked off real easily. And the strike cruisers, relying so much on them alone is going to be a bit of a liability just for that sake. But for now, we're going to stick with this traditional sense that we've been seeing the 3 strike cruisers, the battle barge, since sadly, it won't allow me, even with 2 hunters, to actually be able to field a Mark 1 strike cruiser. So that's going to be a little bit awkward for me. It's something I'm going to have to playtest more, as maybe for Friday's video rather. Although in truth, I really want to dedicate my Friday video to trying to figure out how to make these vanguards work. They in truth were one of my favorites, if not my absolute favorite of the ships in Armada 1, simply because of the freedom and luxury you have with its mobility, for crying out loud. Sure, the Corsairs in Armada 1 were amazing for that, but it's on a cooldown, for crying out loud. You can't just pick and choose when to use it, when to use your high energy turn. It was amazing, it felt great, and even one of my highlights involves 3 vanguards beating the crap out of a Retribution single-handedly, or at least with just those 3 alone. It is phenomenal when things go well with those ships, but with the limited charges that the light cruisers now have, it may not be possible currently, but I am going to make the endeavor nonetheless. But we're going to worry about that another time. I've just been wondering what the hell upgrades I want, since I don't know how practical armor piercing is going to be unless somehow it actually stacks with the bombardment cannons, in which case this could be an amazing upgrade. It's something that probably will need to be play tested a little bit, but I think I may jump between that and maybe the company Terminators here, for I kind of been forfeiting my lightning strikes with the battle barge to try and get the broadside boarding assaults in, just because Space Marines do want to play a little bit like Tyranids in that they want to kill off the entirety of the crew, and hell, with a 60% chance to get additional crew damage, never mind the random factor of maybe doing 3 points of crew damage just for the boarding itself, it's very likely that the Space Marines can even do more boarding damage than Tyranids in some cases. So I'm looking forward to see how this plays out. Alright, this is a great way to start off, isn't it, Space Marines? We're going to be face off against the one that they hate the most. It's Night Lords at that, too. But nonetheless, they are going to potentially be mobile. It may even be a slaughter fleet, which could be a little bit awkward for me, since their sheer mobility will make it really difficult to actually actually connect with the boring torpedoes early on. So I may need to get a little bit clever and use my ramming to kind of hold them in place, if that seems likely. But I'm going to expect the lances, which is definitely going to be a bit problematic, since my battle barge kind of wants to take the brunt of those damage just because of how I don't want my engines to get destroyed in the early offsets of the match, for starters. So it's going to be important maybe I boost with this battle barge ahead of time, so that way it can draw the fire and at least keep pace with the strike cruisers. Don't really like this layout of objectives, mind you, but that's why I have 2 Novas to kind of help with that. I only need 1, ideally, to get vision, so it should be okay. And hell, I do have a micro warp drive jump as well that I can use these Novas to prime my strike cruiser or battle barge to jump in there, if I feel like maybe it's not worth it.
Moving to position.
So right off the bat, what am I seeing?
Enemy in sight.
Oh, they have a light cruiser there, so I don't think this is all Acrons, though, some kind. But we'll see. Oh, and let's see, we're looking at crew damage, demonic infestation, and morale damage, which apparently you don't know how Space Marines work. I am immune to morale damage. So one of those upgrades is completely pointless. Although, in all seriousness, I wanted to launch my fighters to kind of get vision too. It's kind of handy in this regard, and I can always recall it back, and they should they should be able to dock before the actual fight itself.
The enemy has seized a
And I'm just going to have this Nova. I would love to have both my Novas there because I'm confident actually both of them could take on the single light cruiser. As stupid as it may sound. Oh, and here comes the beacon now. Ideal is fully getting revealed, since that just opens up a lot more lance fire for me to take, which I would rather not, if possible, since we don't really know what I'm up against just yet.
Where shall we strike?
But I kind of already know. Ooh.
The enemy has
So we do have fighters spotting. Actually, I can kind of distract them a bit here, since we do have a gas cloud to kind of deny vision. Kind of. It remains to be seen if the fighters are going to chase after me or not. Since I'd like to at least be able to keep myself hidden, ideally.
Repositioning.
And not let them have that liberty. Alright, so they did disengage. I lose access to the middle point, but that's kind of fine.
Holding fire.
And if possible, I'm going to assume maybe this is a flagship here. I haven't really done a good job paying attention. And also, my fighters are just revealing... Oh god, Grand Cruisers. And they are all Lance variants, interestingly enough. At least I don't have to worry about the upgrades being a pain. Although I am going to lose my one of my 4 charges of fighters, which is a bit going to be felt. But we know what we're up against, and this has to be the flagship, I assume. So micro warp jumping on that is probably not worth it just yet. I am wondering if it's even possible for him to have micro warp jump, but actually, let's do this properly. Launch the fighters first. And then, actually, I could jump in there and cause problems, but... Alright, I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore. I'm just thinking maybe... Oh, they're coming after me, so let's keep that in mind. I do have a micro warp jump, so maybe I could bait them into this. And what do I want to focus? I don't know quite yet, but there's all the lances being brought to bear. And if I could kill the shields, that'd be great. So boring torpedoes, fighters are going to help in this regard a lot. Unfortunately, that's going to change quickly. Now, I should have micro warp jumped a little bit sooner. But this is a great way to do what's necessary. Have the battle barge soak up a lot of these shots, since this has got a ridiculous amount of boring on already. We still got our work cut out for us, though. Now, I don't want to go too ridiculous on the boring, but let's get our weaponry all set up here. And I got a lot of troop capacity, so I should in theory be okay, but boring torpedoes sadly missed horribly. Not something we can fix this, though. Although my rotation is not working the best. Thankfully, I have AC armor. In fact, I want to say I'm almost doing more ramming damage. Or actually, yeah, I'm doing more ramming damage to them than they are to me. I just gotta remember my damn hotkeys for these lightning strikes. Since this could be a mistake trying to activate everything. And let's see, your crew is heavily hindered right now. Sadly, no actual critical hits despite all the torpedo shots. But it's good nonetheless. I actually need to kill off some of these crew for this to matter, though. Engines going on you, perfect. Maybe a very simplistic type of match, but this is definitely a serious type of fleet, considering it's as brute force as you could probably ask for. Now, boring torpedoes I want on you, although it's going to be a little bit excessive if I fire boring torpedoes on you, I'm not going to lie. But I think eliminating you from the equation is really damn important. And otherwise, I got reload. Virtually repairs back up. Sadly, I'm going to get hit by that. But boring torpedoes are in effect. Crew is still damn good on this ship. And I have the Kulexis Assassin, which I need to keep in mind too, which is really important for the potential 100% critical hit chance, but I'm pretty certain that's impacted by the resistance of a cruiser, or at least a battleship. As much as I love to honor the chapter a bit more, now we just gotta kill off these ships.
have seized a strategic area.
There, torpedoes, time for you to do your thing.
All power to engine.
And I want to save Honor to the Chapter if possible for when they reactivate their ships.
Launch Thunderhawk.
And we got boring torpedoes to complement this.
Engines engaged.
There, that was convenient. Probably a simplistic start, but hey, a good demonstration. Oh god.
Speed.
I don't have Honor the Chapter on these, but these guys can move in and easily correct that. Well, hold that thought, I almost crashed into myself. I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now, I had to check my keyboard to be sure, because I was going to hit V, which of course, since my frigate was not selected in this group, it would have been the wrong button. Then I'd be spending a little bit of time trying to figure out what was going on. Still kind of happened.
Redirecting.
Now, let's kill off these Grand Cruisers quickly. Since right now they're splitting their damage, oh god.
At your
I have little choice but to get out of here.
Hold course.
I still got plenty of crew there, but the battle barge at risk of being deactivated, so we need to do the damage necessary quickly.
25%
Oh, that was convenient. Oh, one of my strike cruisers were caught in the blast. That I did not account for the best.
I am listening. To where we are needed.
Alright, I think there's not much I could do for this battle barge. It is gone, but at the same time,
Redirecting.
everything's gonna explode for me.
have accumulated
Maybe?
50%
Ah.
of strategic points.
Thank God for not taking morale damage, huh?
We stand ready.
And my one little Nova way down here is still sitting pretty.
Engines engaged.
We pretty much got this. Although the score kind of would be led to believe otherwise. Or at least would mislead
Engines
you.
engaged. All servitors and tech marines begin repairs.
Let's actually take this a bit seriously. Since it is actually a light cruiser too, so I would actually grab the objectives so much more faster.
Halt advance.
Just gotta make sure these bombers don't get the return run. And ideally, also kill off this one Grand Cruiser, since I let it kind of lose the...
Moving to position.
Get the crew killed off, is what I'm trying to say.
We stand ready. Hold course.
So you need to die. You have almost no morale, so that's an important factor.
Just purpose.
And we'll grab these points and deal with the deficit that we have, at least in the score count.
At your command.
Alright, so morale's no longer an issue. We saw them rally.
Underway.
I know what you're doing there. I'm not gonna let you do it. I don't have Honor to Chapter,
Where we are
alas.
needed.
But fighters I could deal with.
I am listening.
I'll grab the objectives here. I got... Actually, torpedoes. A single torpedo run should be enough to kill this thing. I just want to get close enough to seal the deal. And Honor to Chapter would be the easy way to do this. But torpedoes have a good chance of killing off the crew, if enough of them make it.
The enemy has accumulated
Hell, it's just gonna kill the
75%
ship
of strategic
outright.
points.
That's the result we're getting. Good God. How the... Oh, I used up your combustion gauge, so that was a bit of a failing on my part.
Where shall we strike?
But the results are still good.
Underway.
No more torpedoes, I'm about to board it. And how much damage would this do? This is important to note for later on. So I kill, basically, almost 2 phases of the ship just for these 2 abilities alone, if I could get the boarding assault
Hold
in.
course.
Sadly not going to happen, they're just stalling it
You
out.
have accumulated
Admirable, but not going to be
75% strategic
matter
points.
much. I just got to board it and remember to cripple its engines,
Enemy in sight.
which is already crippled.
That is impossible.
And maybe it won't quite do the morale damage necessary, but it's being boarded heavily. So that should, if all goes well,
Repositioning.
take out 2/3 of the crew. And hell, even cripple the engines at a bad time, because you could have repaired that.
That's the enemy.
I wonder... I am trying to think right now, when is it worth using lock-on? Since keep in mind, these bombardment cannons are a little bit weird in that
Boarding course.
instead of having their critical hit chance doubled, like on the stats up top, it has a little trait there that doubles the critical hit chance. Oh my god,
Give us purpose.
I just realized we just nearly killed off the crew with those single assault strafing run, for crying out loud.
I am listening.
That just goes to show you how ridiculous those could be sometime. Sadly, no other boarding options are available, so we have to do this the traditional way.
Where shall we strike?
And once I grab this point here, we're pretty much in the home stretch. There's no possibility of me losing.
Halt advance.
good demonstration of dealing with like a very brute force type of fleet, even if technically it was just a bunch of lances and not so much the, what is it, the Retaliator? Or is it the Repulsive Grand Cruiser? I forget which one it is that has the torpedoes, mind you. Otherwise, what am I trying to think of? The one thing I may not explain very well is I actually have the disruption bomb for my flagship, which a lot of this, yeah, what it really comes down to is I want to get full use out of my bombardment cannons to at least get those critical hits necessary. For the one thing that Space Marines are bad at, since they rely on critical hits and critical damage so much, is they don't have the weaponry and armament to actually kill the shields really quickly on a lot of ships, especially the flagship, or a battleship no less. So I think I'm going to be sticking with that a lot, and seeing if that's the one skill I need, as opposed to stasis bombs or some other abilities. Since just like with the Imperial Navy, I don't quite have really, what is it, quite defined type of abilities. They're really the generic ones ultimately, with the exception of the Emperor's Tarot, which could be useful, maybe, for keeping vision on something. This could have merit against Drukari. Although with the cooldown being 120 seconds, there is still going to be that downtime, so I'm still wondering how to best utilize that. Oh boy, mirror match. This is going to get amusing, isn't it? Honestly, with 12 factions in the game, it kind of is a bit of a begrudging period to have a mirror match, but this could be interesting. Since it will come down to how effective I could dodge the boring torpedoes, which, for the battle barge, it's going to be really tricky to do, even though it somehow has high energy turn available on this cursed thing. Don't ask me the logic there, but there could be an argument for it actually evading it. Maybe its length might be too long. If I could dodge seeker missiles and boring torpedoes to a limited extent with orcs, you definitely would think the battle barge has the possibility to do it. Just in maybe a lot more extreme circumstances, possibly. And with that said, where do I kind of want to hang back with the battle barge just because of the said factor? I don't know. And armor piercing ammo might be required. It again comes down to I have no idea if this actually will work with the bombardment cannon or not, in all seriousness. I'm going to assume not, just because the wording on these broadside weapons strictly said they're macro battery weapons. So I'm going to assume no, but that would be kind of nice if they did work that way. With that said, Nova, you're going to grab that point. I should be open-minded to having my second Nova go over there as well, once I actually reveal the ships. But we'll play this by ear. And oh god, I have the Culexus Assassin. I don't want you on here. You're kind of pointless, alas. And so far this looks very similar to what I'm fielding. So it's going to be almost a dead exact mirror match. So we're going to have to figure out... Huh, I guess not. Oh, this is going to be different entirely. They're all launch bays. Which should, in theory, be really good for me. It just comes down to if my opponent knows how to utilize the fighters to kind of screen for the bombers or the assault ships.
Give us purpose.
In theory, this should be really damn good. I just don't want to fire torpedoes just because of what the gas cloud here for them to immediately utilize.
Hold course.
It does not seem warranted. Although now I'm kind of wondering if I should even have... I should have these Novas paired together in case there's one frigate or even a vanguard. I'm kind of suspecting... I could have been watching the cap. It looks like a frigate in all seriousness, so... At least that way I can win that engagement on the right and maybe steal the point behind them. Or at least protect my side if it plays out that route. So far spread out, I want my battle barge to kind of go in first, ideally. I'm kind of open-minded about that. And since they don't have boring torpedoes, then I'm kind of okay in this factor. Oh, yeah, hopefully when I get my ranking up, this should help a little bit. But my opponent just decided to neglect the objective quite a bit here. So I think I'm on good pacing for the long term. Hell, I don't even need to do anything. I could just sit here, for crying out loud, as silly as it may sound. Since I'm going to have two objectives in a moment, I'm gonna start pushing for maybe the third one. And we do have fighters coming on in. I don't have to do a damn thing. As silly as it may sound, hell, I might even be so bold as to grab the objective from right out from under the nose.
You have seized a strategic
This is...
area.
I'm a bit loath to abuse the mechanics of the battle barge, but I can do it. I could just boost in there, grab the point, and just get on out before my shields even fall down or fall off, if I were to be serious. I don't have to do a damn thing. Fighters are a little bit annoying, but they can't do anything. Oh. It's a bit silly, I won't lie, to just micro-warp jump for no reason, but
You have seized a strategic area.
I get my momentum. It's time for them to make the move.
Enemy in sight. We stand ready.
Alright, and I would like to reload, but
Rear.
it doesn't help my lance at all,
Give us purpose.
in all seriousness. But
Halt advance.
let's try shooting these down. They're only squadrons of 2, so it makes it a lot easier to shoot them down. And I lost a good portion of my point defense.
Halt advance.
Oh, that's a bit of an annoyance. The actual beacon objective is actually inside
Hold course.
the dang cloud, so that may not have been as brilliant as I'd like to make it seem. And I also had 3 fighter squadrons to help too, but
Where shall we
I
strike?
got 3 objectives,
The enemy is seizing
We'll
one
see
of
what
the
happens here.
strategic areas.
and actually want to launch a bit of boring torpedoes here.
Repositioning.
See if they know how to
The
deal with
enemy has
this.
seized a strategic
Gotta keep
area.
mine. I am gonna... my shields are like my strongest weapon here. And also, I need to pay attention. I can dodge these bombardment cannons and macro cannons really damn well too.
Give us purpose. Underway.
And they're getting some nice, giving me some free ramming damage too, which is my soft full of them. I don't have any fighters to go with it, but they seem to know what they're doing to an
Show us the
extent.
enemy. Underway.
Now let's grab... They have at least multiple frigates, but I'm not too worried just yet about a single frigate. I'm just going to steal the objectives from under their
The
nose.
enemy has seized a strategic
And if
area.
possible... Yeah, shields are about to go down, but now guess what happens? I have... Ooh. I killed a bombardment cannon, but I'm doing a horrible job prioritizing my components, I'm just realizing.
Enemy in sight.
In fact, I should just kill the weaponry. Kill the weaponry and then
I am listening.
just use the gas cloud for full effect.
To where we are
Ideally, not getting my components destroyed carelessly, because that was a permanent destruction on my
You
generator.
have seized a strategic area.
Give us purpose.
See if we could kill the second frigate off. Just use the gas cloud for the same effect. Hell, I could grab this objective really nicely too.
Where shall we strike?
Oh, actually we can hide ourselves. That denies the fighters, although that kind of is a bad thing, a little bit. And actually,
I'm listening.
let's grab the objective. Hopefully I don't ram myself.
Engage.
Since I have that convenience, my opponent is getting themselves ready to come join in, though.
Give us purpose.
Let's see, disruption bomb, that'll be helpful, because I'm going to need my battle barge really quickly here for this engagement.
I am listening.
I could probably just brute force it, though. That'd probably be a smart choice, if I were to be honest. I probably should, but let's at least try and play this with the proper mind of a space marine, a little bit more tactical, since my opponent knows to take the boarding torpedoes seriously. So I don't think I can rely on them as much as I want.
Strategic area.
Oh. This is interesting. You have hunters and everything
You have
here.
accumulated 25% of strategic
Let's see if they
points.
know what to do. Sure, they're grabbing a point there, but I still have 3 objectives and we have a bunch of frigates to kill.
Full speed.
The
Can my
enemy
bombers
is
help do
seizing
the
one of
damage
your
necessary?
strategic
Since these only have 100 health. I should be letting them try and ram me in all seriousness. And actually,
Where shall we
can I
strike?
launch some boring torpedoes as silly as it may sound? It might actually be useful to cripple off some of these frigates.
Engines engaged.
My 2 frigates are definitely going to need support though, which is why I want these bombers to actually make it in time.
Power to engine.
But let's see, are they targeting the one that would like, because that's going to burn to death.
Initiate targeting protocol.
We got 3 objectives. Yeah, this is just a slow game. Probably a little bit slower than actually necessary. But I think I'm okay with this. And actually,
Shall we strike?
I have boring torpedoes too, which I kind of did launch at the frigates as well, didn't I? Ah, and you actually survived, you cursed
Where we are
thing.
needed.
A little unfortunate. But I can grab the objective there and start forcing her hands some more.
Towards the enemy.
We got a nice healthy lead.
Engines
The bombardment
engaged.
can has kind of gone on their flagship. Now let's just continue this up. This time I am going to
Towards
commit.
the enemy.
Since they're losing the shields, or hell, they're going to accommodate me.
I am listening. Halt advance.
I'm going to need the dumbfire torpedoes to really do damage, but
Purpose.
let's see
That is impossible.
about boarding. My angle's really bad, though.
Give us purpose.
Call to arms will help mitigate this some. A little bit silly, of course, but hey. Fine, continue to launch your fighters.
Our wrath cannot be denied.
We'll focus down your ship.
Successful teleport.
I don't know where the frigates went, so I'm a little bit worried about that. But this should be a good exchange. I actually need to fire my dumbfire torpedoes, though.
Underway.
Minimize the boarding damage,
New vector acknowledged.
and just fire everything. Although, in all seriousness, I should wait
We stand ready.
till... Let's see, their fighters just destroyed all the things, too.
Position.
So there's one strength of those cursed things.
Where shall we strike?
And actually, let me start transferring crew over too, as dumb as that may sound, because that's about to die. I have no reason to board that. And I did do all my boarding. Ooh, that's gotta suck.
Show us the enemy.
That's not a good feeling there to use up all your cold arms, alas.
Tech Marine. Calm the machine spirits.
But I have an opportunity to shoot the torpedoes on them some more. Actually,
Hold course.
this is a bit of an awkward angle, so this is where I like the boring torpedoes.
To where we are.
Half them hit, so that's always good.
Give us purpose.
Boring damage is gone. Let's go full damage there. I still get my rate of fire with the called arms active. Just not my stances, but now we're ready to kill something. Sadly, my generators are completely gone. That's a bit of a shame.
Show us the enemy.
But now that they're committing to bombers, I can launch my fighters freely.
Underway.
I want to kill this flagship. Murder it horribly.
Hold course.
Yes, fly into it. Boom, there goes 400 health in a hurry.
Full speed.
Can I get more torpedoes, especially if your engine's gone? And I know you called arms.
Engine.
A little unfortunate, but this is gonna suck.
Give us purpose.
Arguably, a bit of a mismatch, maybe. I feel a little bit like a cruel person, since those damn Mark 1 strike cruisers are really damn expensive. And arguably not as impactful as the boring torpedoes, or even the torpedoes in general. Which is a bit of a shame. So I don't know what to really take from this, in all seriousness. Since what? The boring torpedoes give 6 potential boarding options, where I think the Thunderhawk assault ships, it doesn't want to give me a description here, but I'm pretty certain they only launch 2 Thunderhawks per squadron, maybe. I could be wrong there. Alright, Imperial Navy. We're getting all the matchups, basically, that are all human-centric. Everything else from here on out is all going to be Xenos all the time. Well, I don't know if you call Chaos as actually human. They're as close to human as they probably could be for anything that's not of the Imperium, in all seriousness. But nonetheless, let's round this out. And see what our opponent can do about the boring torpedoes, since really that's what a lot of it can come down to. How effectively they can dodge those. And if I do connect, and they don't make good use of their call to arms, due to the potential of doing 3, maybe even 4 points of troop damage every single time, the call to arms does seem a little bit lackluster sometimes. It would seem to be the case. But since I'm kind of relying more on going for a troop kill type of victory, and then just crippling them and abusing their ships when they're completely limping, that might be the right decision, even though it's very minor in comparison, maybe like negating the troop damage that orcs could do, for a perfect example. Since that's only 2 points of troop damage with only a 10% chance of additional critical troop damage. So that is a valid use there, but even then orcs have mega cannons. They have other things that fall back on, in all seriousness. Nonetheless, I like the potential of this battle barge, especially since my strike cruisers can get screwed over immensely. I still remember that Adeptus Mechanicus match where I completely devastated, massacred that one strike cruiser. It was the single strike cruiser double battle barge, and that thing had nothing left, it almost looked like, from all the lance fire was thrown at it. Nonetheless, let's see, Colexus Assassin's good here. I think I'll keep the armor piercing ammo since my opponent is wanting to probably do the same. Still a question of what upgrades I want, due to having a lot less type of macro cannons to take full advantage of it. At least in comparison to the Imperial Navy, since they got 2 salvos, and I only got like 1. And it's not even as potent as the Imperial Navy's macro cannons, for crying out loud too. They have a longer rate of fire, but they also do slightly more damage than they have the reload time, which is a big factor as well. It's really only the battle barge that's capable of matching them. And you kind of could have... I'm wondering if you could have figured out which one was the battle barge, so I'm wondering why you chose to reveal maybe one of the strike cruisers instead. I'm interested about that. And I did launch fighters, sadly. Maybe I should have thought a little bit more about where the objective was. So my fighters are not likely going to reveal anything. They could get close. What can I glean from this?
You have seized a strategic
Because they're
area.
going the usual slow speed of Imperial Navy, so I don't know what to expect. Can I reveal this one ship? That would be kind of nice. It's going to be close. And also, what's capturing this point? I wasn't paying attention to a mission dissipator. Oh god, we did reveal it. So Novacan is interesting. At least in Apocalypse. Does that mean the other ones are Apocalypse as well? As ridiculous that may sound. Nonetheless, I know what I want to do here. As tempting as to fire boring torpedoes, I want to wait until I have my actual fighters available first.
The enemy has seized a strategic
To at least
area.
give me that little bit of leniency.
Repositioning.
Yeah, it looks like they're all battleships.
Where shall we strike?
This is going to be a bit of an odd engagement.
Moving to position.
If they're all battleships, my disruption bomb's going to be amazing for taking down the shields at least. I do have that going for me.
I am listening.
I just want to reveal them all first, and then play
Moving
from
to
there.
position.
You have seized a
Alright, so
strategic
that's easily
area.
dodgeable, and they're not Adeptus Mechanicus, so... Actually, you're the one that was revealed, weren't you? So I can easily boost.
Moving to position.
We'll take our time.
Show us the enemy.
They're all Nova cans too, so
Where shall we
gotta
strike?
play this very, very cautiously.
To where we are needed. I am listening.
I can micro warp jump easily enough. I have a vision of all of them, but I want to wait. Well, I do have fighters, so who am I kidding?
Full speed.
I'm just not gonna have my other ships conveniently joining in this fray.
Give us purpose.
Alright, I'm just wondering the thought process. The lances are still gonna be devastating, but
You
I'm
have seized
I'm
a
gonna play the
strategic
same
area.
mindset that I did before. Just get the hell out, and then just play from by ear there. Especially with 3 objectives, I'm in no rush. Especially if it allows... Oh, I'm marked currently, but I'm out of range at the same time.
Where shall we strike?
Got some boring damage, but not gonna do much just yet.
Underway.
Actually, this is a perfect opportunity to launch boring torpedoes quickly. Maybe that was a mistake, though.
Our rock cannot be denied. We stand ready.
Since I think my fighter's gonna get sniped before... Oh, my fighter's already sniped, never mind. So that was a bit of a waste.
Full speed. Boarding successful.
And that just shows the potential of their lances, but
I am
I have my shields back up. I still got plenty
underway.
of... Let's see. More boardings actually making it in there. Well, they will
Give us purpose.
in a moment at least. I got that going for me.
To where we are needed.
Can we start crippling these things quickly? So there's the cold arms,
Where shall
which
we
should have
strike?
been maybe utilized sooner. But
Engines
with the other
engaged.
torpedoes hitting, that's actually going to probably be worth
Boarding
it.
successful.
I'll worry about that later, although
Positioning. Show us the
I don't want the critical hits, ideally, but
Hold course.
we'll grab the objective here behind them.
We stand ready.
Since they don't have a beacon, they don't have fighters,
Halt advance.
and they're really bad at turning their ships.
Boarding caused critical damage. That is impossible. Full speed.
Engine got immediately destroyed, so that really
At
sucks.
your command. Where shall we strike?
Alright. Let's try and kill off this ship there.
Give us purpose.
That was a bit of a
Repositioning.
mistake there.
All power to engines.
Now,
Engines engaged.
I shouldn't have boosted forward, because again, they have really bad visibility. Why am I fumbling this little factor?
Redirecting. Moving to position.
Since I can actually deal with this to an extent really well.
Full speed. I am listening.
Huh. I didn't realize you were grabbing the points so quickly, unless that's a light cruiser.
Hold course.
Sadly, this is probably going to die just because of the destroyed engine.
Engines engaged.
But how many Novacan shots is that left? I did not pay attention the best.
Percent of strategic points.
The crew is crippled there in that regard, so I can isolate one of their Apocalypse really well.
Show us the enemy.
In all seriousness, I should get in their face some.
Underway. Our wrath cannot be denied. Underway.
You have accumulated.
Oh, it's a light cruiser, so that
25%
explains it.
strategic points.
Give us purpose.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
I am doing damage there. I have disruption bombs. Yeah, and actually, the crew is going to be gone momentarily on that thing.
Cannot be denied.
So let's see if we can punish this some. Sure, reactivate the crew. That's easily going to be neutralized pretty quickly, I want to argue.
Give us purpose.
Now, more boring torpedoes. I'm probably going to hit myself. Yeah, that was a bit abysmal. I got not much of an excuse for this.
Repositioning. I am listening. Halt advance.
So let's cripple these things, since we have means to now. Fighters are in the way. I gotta remember to recall them as the important factor. So I might as well do that now.
Show us the enemy. Boarding caused critical damage. To where we are needed. Halt advance.
Took a little bit of damage, that's unfortunate, but
Give us purpose.
we're in good shape here. You're an easy kill with any kind of boarding I can get at.
Successful.
You took a lot of damage,
I am listening.
and I have a micro warp jump, which I've yet to utilize, so I'm not getting rid of my
Where
trump
we are
card.
needed.
I'm not getting rid of my secret weapon here. If they think they got an easy hit, I'm gonna trick them into that.
Show us the enemy.
So you are an easy kill. So I would love to get rid of the second. Let's see, I could potentially do that in all seriousness.
Critical damage.
Get rid of this second ship really easily.
Engines
I just don't have
engaged.
much more boarding weaponry though.
Moving to position.
You have seized a strategic area.
But I can lightning strike it.
Underway. Strike quickly, brothers.
So this should be good enough. And then save a lightning strike for that one there and back. Give them more problems.
Your command.
Especially with Novacan being destroyed.
Purpose. Rearm. Engines engaged. It will be destroyed. Hold course.
Now I honor the chapter, let's start crippling this final ship.
Brothers. That is impossible.
This should be all she wrote there, just about. Maybe a little bit too dramatic,
Engines
than necessary. But, that was not what I wanted, damn it. I want to honor the chapter, and I was not honoring the chapter, alas. But, we already know torpedoes are going to do amazingly well here.
Hold course. New vector acknowledged. Give us purpose.
Now, I'm wondering, do my Thunderhawks survive? Wow, they actually did survive relatively well.
We stand ready.
I don't know if that was all the Thunderhawks I made, but damn, that was quite effective.
At your command.
Now, I need more boarding to kill off these ships. Well, just fire torpedoes at them will eventually get rid of the problem, I suppose, is what I'm learning here.
Where shall we strike?
And we'll ram you and kill off the flagship relatively quickly. And if possible, kill off this other ship as well. If possible.
Feel our might.
Yeah, it's just not very exciting, is it now?
Underway.
Well, my shields are actually going to come back up, so I think I'm okay in this regard.
You have accumulated 50%
That's one down.
strategic
Yep, I
points.
fired torpedoes when I didn't wish to.
Moving to position.
But let's get the boarding done.
Give us purpose.
The enemy
I have
has
really no
strategic
excuse. I probably should have done this a lot sooner in all seriousness, but it feels like a tactical victory at least, crippling off at least 2 of their battleships, and then going in for the killing blow. At least it allows me a way to immediately turn off 2 of them, with fallbacks with Honor the Chapter to do it again, if they reactivate the crew. So if that was something a lot more intimidating and close like Retributions, I could have very easily done the same mindset, to an extent. Since the lack of high energy turn helps a ton with getting those boarding torpedoes to hit. But I am eager to look into making a strike cruiser fleet work, and what I'm been thinking about that I'm gonna have to playtest was it 2 Mark 1s and 3 regular strike cruisers. I don't know how much merit there is to this. The battle barge is really such an imposing presence, and I love it for that. So I'm gonna have to experiment a little bit.